What is up, you beautiful people? Welcome to Towns of 505. I mean, no, 909 and 505. Yeah, Towns of 505. Sorry, it's almost 2 in the morning where I live. But my little kitty cat, she's crying. But today I will be doing a second part to my NFL tier list. I did this for week one. These were my rankings to begin with. I wanted to do a week one to sort of kind of give you kind of like, well, this is what I think of the teams starting out the season. I wanted to do a sort of halfway point of the season, which is 9 weeks because there's 18 weeks in a season, and then do a end of season tier ranking to cap off the season. As you can see, my tier ranking is way compared to how I'm going to be ranking it now. I mean, there's some teams that's going to go way down. There's be some teams that actually could go pretty up. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you what my week one was. Pretty clear. I messed up. I just wanted to show that here before I reset it because I'm going to reset it now. So, if you want to see how it looked like before, rewind it and pause it and screenshot it and compare it to how make it afterwards. So now I have all the teams back where they belong. I gotta redo this because they made this different. So this one I could delete. Same with this one. Okay, starting off with the, I'm gonna go by division by division. Some people go by F to up. To me, it'd be easier just to go by division. Well, let me start with my division, the AFC East. Patriots. I had them in D tier. Let me actually, I'm gonna go on my YouTube video and compare and contrast as we speak. Give me 1 second. I will do that as we speak. I'm on view channel. Live. I am live. And yeah, I'm gonna, because I have my thing here. And okay, so I had the Patriots at D tier week one. Oh boy, was I wrong. They are not a D tier team. They are far from it. I want to put them in S tier. I really do, but they haven't really beaten any legit teams so far. So I'm going to put them in the A tier, which is significantly better than D tier, the where I initially put them. I still do think they need to play a couple more legit teams. A lot of the teams they have beat are under 500, with the exception of the Buffalo Bills. But it's a division game, so I can't really take those too seriously for the fact that, any given Sunday, a division rival can beat you. Going to the next division team, Dolphins. Pretty clear. They're in F tier. I gave them F tier week one, and I'm going to keep them in the F tier. They are just not a good football team. Everything could go wrong with that team. It goes wrong. Not a good look for them right now. Looks like they're going to get a pretty high draft pick. What it's looking like. I just don't think they have a bright future. I mean, their quarterback gets injured a lot, and Zach Wilson is not the backup quarterback you need. Maybe they might draft another quarterback, which I do recommend. Then we go over to the Buffalo Bills, which I'm going to keep them at the S tier, even though they have struggled a little bit with a couple of losses. They did beat the Chiefs. They do look better than the Patriots. I mean, the Bills beat some pretty good teams. I will look at the teams they beat again. Again, they beat the Chiefs. No doubt they will make the playoffs again. I mean, yes, the Ravens don't look good, but I think the Ravens are a good team. I mean, they were a pretty healthy team when they beat them then. I mean, now the Ravens are pretty unhealthy, so I can't really talk. But I mean, I just think they look like a good team. I think they're still an S tier team. Um, in my opinion, of course, I'm doing this for fun, so you could write a hateful comment if you want, but I really don't care. As for the New York Jets, I had them at B tier. Oh boy, was I wrong about them. They are an F tier team. I mean, now looking back at the trade they made, oh boy, oh boy, that's all I gotta say about the trades. I mean, yes, they are going back into yet another rebuild. I mean, they're going in a rebuild while in rebuilding mode. Not a good look. And they did get 3 draft picks, 3 first round picks for next draft, which is pretty good. I mean, not a strong draft class coming up next, but still, I mean, 3 first rounders, that's pretty big. So, but as for the game itself, I mean, the team itself now, not looking good. Now we're going to take over, pardon me. Now we're going to look over the AFC North. I I did have the Steelers over in the B tier, and I'm gonna keep them in the B tier. I still think they're a B tier team. I mean, they're first in their division, but their division is super super weak. I mean, you're in the division with the Browns, Joe Flacco, Bengals, but I mean Lamar Jacksonless Ravens. You only have a 2-game lead in that division. Not a good look for you. Uh, I think they'll go 10-7 as they normally do and get eliminated in the first round. Just That's just how the Steelers script has been going for the past few years, for many years now, and I think that'll remain the same. So I do think the Steelers are a B tier team still. Going to the Ravens, I had the Ravens over in the C tier, and the Ravens are a difficult team to rank because this team shows promise when they're fully healthy, and right now they're not fully healthy. But I just I still think they're a C tier team. I put them C tier initially, and I'm going to keep them there until they prove me otherwise. I mean, they're 3-5. I mean, they can turn around, but again, these are my week 9 tier rankings, so it could change in 9 weeks. So there's my ranking for them now. Bengals, I'm going to put them D tier. I'm not going to put them in the F tier yet. I just don't think they're that bad. I mean, it's just their defense. I think their defense is horrible, but their offense is good. I mean, Joe Flacco is this like second time in a row the Bengals gave up all of those points, but think about it. Joe Flacco has kept them pretty close in these games that they gave up all those points. So, in my opinion, they're not a F tier, but they're not going to be anywhere up from there. I did put them in C tier initially, so I did knock them down from the C tier. Last but not least, Cleveland Browns. I mean, and by the way, none of these are in particular order in the tiers. I just put them in the tier that they belong in. I put them in F tier week 1, and they're going to remain in F tier. 2-6. Not a good look. I mean, it's the Browns. I mean, we're the Cleveland Browns. It's the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're just an F tier team in general. It's just going rough for them in Cleveland. The only sport they could really be looking forward to is basketball. Besides that, Cleveland sports has been pretty bad. Now let's go into the AFC West and the Broncos. I put them in A tier initially. I'm gonna bump them up to an S tier. Yes, I'm bumping them up actually. I mean, they only lost 2 games and they were close games. I'm not talking like games that they got blown out. I mean, they've came back from a couple games. I mean, of course, they looking at the games they won. I mean, they did beat the Titans. They beat. I mean, they barely lost to the Colts. I mean, in my opinion, I mean the Colts arguably one of the best teams in the league. Only lost by a field goal, not even like a point. I know it's a full field goal, but only lost by a point, so not bad. And the other team they lost, again, was a field goal, so two field goal losses. So I really do think they have the potential of being one of the best teams in the AFC, maybe getting out of the AFC, maybe making the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not gonna say that's definite yet. Again, it's only 9 weeks into the season. We're halfway through, but I do think the Broncos have lots of promise for me. That is. Now for the Raiders, I mean, I put them where I put the Jets. I put them in the B tier. I thought they would be a good team. I mean, that win against the Patriots looked pretty promising, but they are back in the F tier. I mean, I feel bad for Raider fans. I'm one of my brother-in-law's a Raiders fan. I feel bad for them. They just everything that could go wrong for them. I mean, they got shut out, I believe, 38-0 against their division rivals with the Chiefs. I mean, it really can't get any worse than that. Um, it really, really is rough there in Las Vegas. They lost their identity moving from Oakland, and it's gonna take a very long time for them to establish themselves again as as a contender. Again, it's gonna take a very long time and to get that identity back. Now for the Chargers. There is that saying, the Chargers will always charger, but they're still 6-3. And I do think they're a good team. First, I will talk about the Chiefs. I do want to talk about the Chiefs first. Chiefs, though, I put them in D tier initially. I'm going to move them up, but I'm going to move them up to a C tier. Here's the thing. They're one game over 500. I do still think they could come back, but right now it's not looking good for them. They only could be teams under 500. It's looking like one of those seasons where this might be one of the first times this might be the first time Patrick Mahomes misses the playoffs. I'm not that invested in the Chiefs, so I don't know when they make it or not make the playoffs, because my team hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years. I'm a Jets fan, so I really do not care who makes the playoffs or not, because if my team doesn't make it, I really don't care if your team makes the playoffs. So that's kind of the attitude I go into it. So I think this might be the first time Mahomes misses the playoffs. So, but I'm not going to put them under it because they have promise, though. They got their receivers back. I do think the Chiefs can go on a run if they lock in, but it's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell with the Chiefs, but well, we'll see. Now going back to the Chargers. I briefly started talking about them. They beat the Chiefs week 1, in London. I think it was London or Brazil. I forgot where they played, but they played outside the country. They beat them, and beat the Broncos. Team I gave them S tier, so that's a bonus. Besides that, looking at their wins, I gave them A tier initially. I'm gonna bump them down. I'm gonna bump them down to a B tier because, kind of like the Patriots, they haven't proven themselves as a contender, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I could be deadly wrong. They could run right through the AFC for all I care. But we'll see. But for me right now, to me they present as a B tier team. Now for the last division of the AFC South. Oh boy, AFC South. I mean, We all know the AFC South is very, very feeble. AFC South is probably the most one of the most feeble divisions normally. I mean, AFC North is very feeble, probably the most feeble right now, the AFC North, but AFC South, it's not that hard for a team to take over in that division because division's that bad. But first, I will start with the worst team, which is the Titans. Yeah, they're F tier again, and I put them initially, and then I was right. They are indeed a F tier team. It's gonna be another year for them in the lottery. They're gonna be in the lottery again. They're looking for another draft pick, another probably might get first overall again. No, my Jets don't get first overall. I feel like they might get first overall. Not looking good for Tennessee. Now for the Texans, I put the Texans in D tier. I do think that was a little harsh putting them in D tier because I don't know. I see them. I don't know, and I think I'm right. I do think they're a D tier team. Sorry, Texan fans. I'm sorry to get you excited. Thought I was probably gonna put them in C or B tier. No, they're a D tier team. Looking at the record, looking at the teams they beat. Again, pretty rough year after last year. I mean, Texans had a pretty good year. I mean, they've had a couple good years, especially with CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud's a good quarterback, in my opinion. It's just, man, they can't. I mean, there's the Ohio State curse, player coming from Ohio State, they can't play in the NFL. Sadly, that has pretty much stayed true. They really haven't really, I don't know, it's just not looking good for them. Jaguars. I gave them a C tier initially. I'm gonna bump them up to a B tier. Yeah, I mean, they might make the playoffs. I think if they play hard enough, I think they could potentially make the playoffs. I mean, I'm not like saying they will make the playoffs, but they have potential. I mean, they have a young squad. If you get a good quarterback, I feel like get a really good quarterback. I feel like really change that franchise around. So I like what I see in Jacksonville. Just nothing above a B tier. I mean, yes, I mean they're only 5-3, but man, I like what I see from them. In my opinion, I think they have promise. Now here's a team that I put this in eight, put this team in A tier, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep them in A tier. If you're a Colts fan, I'm very sorry. I like the Colts, I respect the Colts, but I think the Colts are a little bit frauds. I think they're a little bit on the fraudulent side. I mean, let me tell you the teams they win. I mean, you look at their record, they're 7-2. That sounds great. You're probably thinking, oh, they have to be an S tier team. They're a big contender. Well, let me tell you the teams they beat. They beat the Dolphins. It's the Dolphins. They barely beat the Broncos by a field goal because of a penalty. That's how they won that game. They beat the Titans. They lose to the Rams, so that's actually a team that I haven't talked about the Rams yet, but the Rams are a good team. They're over 500 and couldn't beat them. So that's one team that's over 500. Now, the next team they beat the Titans again, which again, I mean, yeah, they will not yeah, they beat the Titans again. They beat the Raiders, they beat the Cardinals, I mean, they beat the Chargers, which, they're a decent team, but most of these teams that they're winning against are under 500. They haven't proven anything to me yet. I mean, I get it. It's week 9. Like it's hard to really tell by now, but I need to see them win against more teams over 500 before I could escalate them to the big S tier. So for me, Patriots, Colts, to me, a little bit on fraud watch right now, but who knows? Maybe they could surprise me. Maybe they could turn around. Who knows? Maybe they could beat a lot of great teams and they could go on a deep playoff run. They got my guy, Sauce Gardner. So I hope they treat my boy Sauce Gardner good. You know, I miss him already, but we'll see how he does. But now that I've ranked all the AFC teams, now I'll go to the NFC team. So let's pick up with the NFC South since we talked about the AFC South. The Buccaneers. I've said this before. I like the Buccaneers. I, I think they're a good team. Um, I put them in A tier initially, and I hate to put them in A tier again because I love Baker Mayfield, but the injuries, it's just the injuries have been killing them. I really do think they are an A tier team for that reason. Maybe if they all come healthy come playoff time, which knowing that division, the NFC South is pretty close. The Panthers are actually pretty close behind them. So maybe I think maybe the Panthers might give them a hard time in the NFC South, but I do have the Buccaneers still winning the division, and the players are healthy by then. I'll give the Buccaneers the S tier when we get to Week 18. But right now, I just I just don't see them being S tier right now. Sucks to say that because I do like the Buccaneers, but it is what it is. Now for the next team in the South, I'm gonna go with the Saints. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Saints are tough. The Saints are a tough team to rank because you look at their record; they're 1-8, but they're not exactly the worst, though. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, they beat the Giants, the hungry Giants team. Um, it's hard though because they show signs of life, but right now they look horrible. So they're us here because they're 1-8, but I feel like I don't know. It's tough because the Saints, they're a tough team to rank. So now for the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons, I initially put them in C tier. Sorry, Falcon fans, I'm bumping you down to a D tier. You guys are 3-5. Again, Atlanta, not looking good for you. I mean, the Braves, they had a really horrible season. The Hawks, I think the Hawks will do good this year. I think they'll be a play-in team. Might not be a playoff team, but most definitely a play-in team. But yeah, not looking good for the Atlanta team in football. And they did just lose to the Patriots, which definitely knocks them down. So I mean, it's tough for Atlanta, but it sucks. I gotta put them at D tier. Now for the last team in the NFC South, a team that I was not expecting to put them higher than they are. I put the Panthers at D tier. You know what? They're B tier. Yeah, I'm raising them to a B tier. Yeah, they have improved since week 1, and they're over 500. They're 5-4. Never thought I would say that as of recently. That's crazy to me, but hey, they're up at B, which is pretty cool. Right now, I think they have a future. I mean, since last year, I think they've been having a pretty good future, and who knows? Maybe they might upset the Buccaneers and take the division for them. Who knows? And maybe I'll probably bump them up to an A tier if that happens. And sadly, Buccaneers will go down to a B tier or C tier if they choke the division to the Panthers. But I think the Panthers have a good future, though, in my opinion. Moving on to the NFC West, let's talk about the last place team, the Cardinals. Same boat as the Falcons, the Texans, and the Bengals. They're a D tier team. Not the worst of the worst, but they are not good. They're not good. I mean, Cardinals in general, they're just not a really fun franchise. They've been around the longest. They don't have any championships pre-Super Bowl era. They don't have any Super Bowls. It sucks. It sucks with the Cardinals. They're just not a good franchise. I think probably the worst franchise in football for that reason. Like they've been around the longest with nothing to show for it. It really does suck, with the Panther. I mean, with the Cardinals. I mean, at least with the Lions and the Browns, they have accolades to show for it. Like they've been around for a while, and they have pre-Super Bowl championships, like the NFC championships, the National Football League championships from before they merged to become the Super Bowl. So the Browns and the Lions at least have something to go for them. Freaking Cardinals, I feel bad for them, and yeah, they're a measly D tier this time around. Okay, so Seahawks. Ooh, man, what do I have to say about the Seahawks? I think the Seahawks are really. I think they're a fun team to watch. I think they're a team that definitely has potential of being one of the best. I mean, Sam Darnold, he was so good with the Vikings. I don't know why they let him go. I mean, yes, he had that horrible postseason game. Um, uh, round one, but it sucks because I think Sam Darnold really proved himself in Minnesota, and they didn't let him continue in Minnesota, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm gonna give Seahawks a A tier. They traded for a few guys. They're pretty much trying to go into win now mode, which I don't blame them. I mean, yeah, I like the Seahawks. I think they're a pretty fun team to watch. Next team is the 49ers. And you know what? I'm going to also put them in A tier. I think considering with all those injuries the 49ers are dealing with, they're still 6-3 with all those injuries. They could be a lot worse. I mean, last year they were suffering last year. I mean, they're still suffering with injuries, and look at how they're doing now. They're still they're at a comfortable 6-3 lead, 6-3 record. I like what I see from them. Might be a B tier, maybe an A tier, but considering with all the injuries, I do think they deserve the A tier for that fact. Rams, I will give a B tier too. They are at a 6-2 record, but I don't know. I just don't feel like the Rams are real contenders or close. So I mean, they'll make the playoffs, but I just don't think they have what it takes to go push to the next level like they did against the Bengals all those years ago in the Super Bowl. So that's my opinion, of course. But maybe again, if you're a Rams fan, I'm sorry. you could fire me all you want in the comments. I don't really follow too much of the NFC, too much. I mean, I follow a little bit of it, but I don't know as much of the Rams. So I'm looking at the games they won. I'm looking at their record. I watch a little bit of their stuff. So I think a B tier is fair now, but I'll check more into it when it gets to week 18, and I'll give you a final thought on it. Now let's enter into the NFC North. First off, let's talk about the Vikings. Yeah, the Vikings. I had the Vikings as a C tier then, and I have them as a C tier now. They're 4-4. They're the worst in their division, rightfully so. They let Sam Darnold go, which I still am amazed at how they did that. I don't know why they did that, but they let him go, and Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold have both been going crazy in their new teams. They could have kept one of them, but they trusted their rookie. Not the best. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not good either. They're like in the middle, which is why they're 4-4. So I think C tier is perfect for them. Now for the Bears. The Bears. I'm gonna put them in C tier for right now. Yeah, I mean, they turned it around. I mean, it was looking bleak for them, but they want they're on a winning streak, I believe. I mean, they've been kicking butt right now, and I'm very happy for them because I like the Bears. I respect them, and I'm happy they're succeeding. But looking at it right now, I mean, they went on a 4-game winning streak. They beat the Cowboys, they beat the Raiders, beat the Commanders, they beat the Saints, well, Cowboys especially. They took revenge on them, and they beat the Bengals. But they're a hard team to go off by. I don't know if they're going to be really good or really bad. It's very difficult to judge the Bears. We'll see. We'll see how they fare in the second half of the season. Now for the Packers, I'm going to put them in B tier. They are number one in their division, but it's hard to rate them because they either could be the best team in the league or they could be the worst team in the league. No in between. So they have some really great games, but they can have some of the worst games too. I think that might affect them in the future. I think their inconsistencies will definitely mess them up in the playoffs. I don't think they're going on a deep playoff run. And last but not least, in the NFC North, the Lions. I'll put them at the A tier. Yes, you could say, well, but the Lions lost to the Packers in week one. Well, that's just again, that's the Packers when they're really good. If the Packers are at their best, they're an S tier, but when they're at the worst, they're like D tier level. So Packers had a really good week against the Lions that week. I really do think the Lions, when fully healthy, when fully locked in, they can make the Super Bowl. But right now, I do think they're an A tier. We'll see how I feel, in 9 weeks. Now for the last division, the NFC East. Oh, Cowboys. Oh, Cowboys. What do I want to feel about you? The Cowboys, man. This is another pretty weak division, the NFC East. The Commanders were supposed to be like the big, like counterpoint to the Eagles, and right now, we'll talk about the Commanders when we get to them. But Cowboys, the fact that they're ahead of the Commanders is a shock to me. I put the Cowboys in D tier. I'm gonna keep them there. I'm gonna keep them in D tier. I just don't think the Cowboys are that great of a team. They're definitely gonna miss the playoffs again. I mean, they traded um, Michael Parsons, and I don't know. It's just they could have won the game against the Packers, but I mean the Packers and the Bears both equally choked. They both tied it. I mean, tied a game. That's a bummer, but it is what it is. But yeah, I gotta put the Cowboys at D tier. Dak Prescott, he's having a good year too, but that defense is horrendous. Like Dak Prescott has to put a lot of points on the board to compete with their defense. That's how bad his defense is. It's giving it's like last year's Joe Burrow with the Bengals. That's how bad it is. Commanders, oh man. I put them at S tier in the first week. Oh boy, have they dropped off since then. Oh boy, I'm putting them at D tier too. Losing Jaden Daniels the way they did, it is not looking good in Washington at all. I really do feel for their fan base, man. It sucks. They just got their quarterback and now he's gone. He's gone now. You know, I really do feel for the fans over in Washington, man. I feel bad for them. I really do. And yeah, it sucks. I think I think they definitely dropped off. Giants, I put them in F tier initially. I'm gonna put them back in F tier too. 2-7. Definitely fighting for that draft pick now, especially after losing Scatterboo. Sucks losing neighbors. not looking good for the guys and not looking good for the big blue. Last but not least, give me the Eagles at S tier. So last time I had Bills, Eagles, Bills and the Eagles, the 49ers and the Commanders at S tier. Now I have Bills, Broncos, and Eagles. So was not expecting to put the Broncos at S tier, to be honest, but you know, expect the unexpected. But Eagles, though, man, I like the Eagles. I really do like the Eagles. I mean, yes, they did choke that lead. Yes, you know, kind of it's just one of those things. They choked the lead, but besides that, they've looked great. I mean, they're beating teams they're supposed to beat, like um, the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a really good squad. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Rams. They beat. I mean, they're beating pretty good teams. I mean, none of these teams are bad. I mean, yes, they beat the Cowboys. You know, they beat the Vikings. You know, but I do think the Eagles are contenders. Um, my opinion. I do think they have a chance. I'm not saying they will, but I think they have a chance of repeating. I like what I see, but anyways, here is my updated tier ranking of all the NFL teams. Yeah, I know it is drastically different compared to the one that I had initially. Oh boy, is it different. Look at look back at the beginning of the video and then look at this. Um it's pretty clear that I mean, you don't even have to do that. Well, if you want, pause this for a second, and then this is what I initially had. This is what I initially had. So as you can see, a lot has changed since then, and well, we're hitting MLB free agency tomorrow. We'll see how that turns out. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching another one of my long tier rankings of NFL teams, and we'll see. We'll see how let's see how the next 9 weeks fares for us. I'll give you guys another update because I love you so much. Until next time, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. So long.